Namaskar. And the three good generals are back. We are talking about two topics, very important topics. The first one, is there a rift between the CCP and the PLA? All the indications are yes, and why? We are going to take a look at that. And the second topic is the EU-India Fair Trade Agreement. And what does that mean? Is it real or is it something still up in the smoke? All this and more. Let's welcome the three good generals, General Ravi Shankar, General Dushyant Singh, and General Rajiv Narayanan. Namaskaram, sir. How are you?
Namaskaram. Thanks a lot. Pleasure to be on your panel back again, and especially to see my good friend Gen Dushyant also here. I missed you all last time.
I know you held the fort. You held the fort alone.
Yes. I had to fight for three people.
That's right.
So, as always, we are going to start with our opening batsman, Sri Sunil Gavaskar, and over to you, General Ravi Shankar. I think you have some data also.
Yeah, I have a slide deck. I have a slide. Could you put that on, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some facts. I'm not going to give my opinion also, because the facts speak for themselves. This is just reproduction of parts of an article which has this heading: why were China's generals missing in action during the Victory Day parade? And this came out yesterday. And very interesting observations. The Victory Day, for all its parade and all, was very great. He says the first Victory Day parade was held in 2015. 50 generals joined troops to march down the Chang'an Avenue in central Beijing. This was then. The generals were also out in force for the National Day parade in 2019. And all got a rare opportunity to see the PLA's new generation of rising stars. We're talking of 6 years back. In all, 89 generals were announced as they led 59 formations in the parade. 4 full generals, 2 lieutenant generals, 83 major generals. And they all included China's 5 theater commands who led the flag formation. Very important. All the theater commands were marching in the last parade. This year, what happened? The generals were gone. And instead, colonels or senior colonels made their way by foot and vehicle through the capital's main thoroughfare. And the announcer did not say who they were. It's normally a matter of pride for them. Oh, so and so, so and so. Aske baad kuch nahi hai. Then the explanation. China's recent anti-corruption campaign has had a very broad impact on the military. Right? It could be that too many major generals are suspected of having ties to senior generals under investigation. We know just about last week, 4 more generals were sacked. Before that, 2 defense ministers. Half the CMC is missing, and more. Over a longer period, about 50-60 people have been sacked. Now, all these fellows, this is the logic. Just think how deep the problem is. All the major generals today would have link with their seniors, so they are not brought on, in front of everyone. And Beijing may be hesitant to let major generals lead the parade. And the logic, the communist logic. If these major generals took part in the parade, appeared in public, and were later investigated, it would reflect negatively on Beijing. So this is the thinking. Obviously there's a rift. Okay, then even the commander of this year's victory parade had a lower rank than the past, with the event headed by a lieutenant general. Who had previously come to in the public domain as an Air Force commander of the Central Theatre Command. So not a single theatre commander, not a single general. It was commanded by a lieutenant general, of whom no one knew. Right, that's what he says. The 2 previous parades were overseen by a full general, with Yi Xiaoguang, commander of the Central Theatre Command, taking the helm in 2019, and Song Puxuan from the Beijing military region, the Central Theatre's precursor, in 2015. At that time, they had not gone to this command. The military regions were the ones. Right. This time, Beijing did not say how many military generals were involved in the parade command, and has not explained why this year's arrangements were different. Yeah, please take it off. So, can you think of this story? The slide can go, please. Yeah, now just think, What a major shift. And that at a time when it's a major military parade, it's being showcased, as a precursor. And in this was a military parade held on the back of the SCO, which is a big showcase. And then this is a time when he announced the GGI Global Governance Initiative, and the military parade featured amongst guests, importantly, the architects who are the pillars of GGI, Putin and Kim Jong Un, and yet the senior military people were missing. Of course, there are huge problems in the equipment. That's a different story. So there is a rift, and we know, we've been talking about it for the past 6 months, that there's a problem between him and Zhang Yugjia, and half the CMC is missing, and nothing is moving. Xi Jinping has got politics in his hand, but Zhang Yugjia has got the PLA in his hand. So rift is an understatement, right, at this point of time. So I'll get, this is all I have to say at the beginning. Back to you, Shri Ayarji.
Thank you so much. General Dushyant Singh, this CCP show of force, in sense like, they were actually showing some new stuff, and perhaps they were showing what their future roadmap looks like. Certainly, the world took notice, and even Trump said, "I watched the parade; it's impressive." Blah blah blah. Beyond the optics, what you are seeing. First off, your thoughts on what General Ravi Shankar said, and then beyond that optics, how do you see this CCP PLA rift?
First of all, I totally agree as far as the rift and tensions that are taking place between PLA, and more so, I think there is a rift within the CCP as well. So there is a step beyond the current rift, which current issue which we are discussing, that is the rift between CCP and the PLA. I think there is a pro-Z loyalists who are there, and there are anti-Z loyalists, they are there. And then there is a third factor which is now kicking in, is that Z, because of his 2-3 obsessions, that is over centralization and loyalist being the priority, he has started suspecting his own loyalists also. That is one logic which people are giving. The other logic is that there is a power tussle which is going on between Zhang Jia, who is the vice premier of the CPC, and he's trying to CCP, and he's trying to actually create a alternate power center. So it seems that the situation has become even more complex than simply PLA and CCP. I was doing an analysis of the theater commanders. Now, all the theater commanders who were prior to the current lot, some of them were of the Hu Jintao period, who were slowly either taken out or purged. Now, what is happening is all of them were appointed by Xi Jinping. But here also, I read in that in the summary which was made, that definitely Western theater commander is against anti-C. Earlier, he was supposed to have been the one who was before him was sacked, purged. This fellow took over, but he also seems to be not in favor of it. Most of them are tending towards becoming neutral and waiting and watching as to which side the dice will roll. Who will be the ultimately CMC commander? Will it be Xi Jinping, or will somebody else like Zhang Jia might take place, or maybe an alternate dispensation starts with the CCP taking over the entire how should I say, the governance structure of China. So as of now, the situation to me looks very, 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 very fluid and very, very unclear. Then there is this another lobby which is working to portray C as a man who's been put under arrest, or whose health is not good. These narratives are also coming out in the social media, whether they are driven by the Western media or whether they are driven by the internal media. But certain news items which are coming from the South China Morning Post. I think we need to believe them much more than the others, because they do get into the real story and then take it out as far as for the global audience is concerned. So I was reading those posts very clearly, very carefully, which were being issued by the South China Morning Post. So what I have gathered, my sense is that there are now not one, but there are three factions: PLA pro Z, PLA pro Zhangzia. CCP is also seeming to be divided. There is CCP pro Hu Jintao, and there is a CCP which is pro C. So there are four, I think, factions which have got created, making the situation even worse. Maybe that is the reason why we saw in the current parade, the National Day parade, where Victory Day parade, where we found that no senior officers were there, because most of them probably were not willing to come, or they were under some kind of a investigation, or maybe under the threat of being purged. So to me, it looks like situation is really simmering under the surface. Now, coming to the optics part of it, the parade which is there, I think the reason why the optics was made even more had many other factors, like the geopolitical situation globally was also changing, and there was a need for China to. I mean, it saw as an opportunity to snatch the power balance from US, and showcase its SCO summit as a opportunity to showcase China as the next emerging big global power. So therefore, that was one major reason. But the finer points which General Shankar raised, I think, have something to do with their internal situation of their PLA and the CCP both. How do you overcome your weakness? You overcome your weakness. You don't want to show your weakness, so you put a red carpet over it. And I think the one of the aims of this was to put a red carpet over their state of military. We can discuss the state of military. Our the victory lap general is waiting to uncover that, since it is a season of cricket. So we should talk in terms of cricket, and there are a lot of controversies going on cricket as well. And India seems to be up and about, not shaking hands, etc. We are looking in the eye at the people who are trying to oppose us. So in my view, this is where I'll stop. I think there are four factions which have got created: two CCP, two PLA, and there are some neutrals which are wait and watch. They will swing towards the side which finally gains the primacy. But I think in due course of time, Zhangzia might just tip the scale.
Thank
I
you
may
so
be
much,
wrong.
sir. General Rajiv, two specific questions for you. Hype versus reality. You have the answers for that. And I'll ask a second question after that. Let's go ahead. So I'm going to have two questions for you. So let's first hype versus reality of the CCP. I'm sorry, PLA. Go over to you.
We'll start with the parade. It's not just where the
Yes.
generals were. You got to see who was placed where in the visitors' deck.
Picking order.
In the visitors' deck.
Visitors' deck.
Top floor,
Oh,
where you
okay.
Who
Okay.
are seeing it?
Guess.
from where you
Guess.
watched. Three people, not guests. These are the senior people in the pecking order who are there, other than the Politburo Standing Committee, because Politburo Standing Committee, I couldn't see anybody out there. They were at the lower
They
deck.
were not.
Topmost deck is where you look up to, and you had three people who were not in the Politburo Standing Committee, and the topmost deck was all retired people from the Politburo Standing Committee. You had Wang Yang, Hun Chunhua, and Chang Yuzia. They were not. They have never been members of the Politburo Standing Committee. That was telling, a telling moment that what were these three doing there. That is point number one. Number two, if you look at all the parades that have taken place right from the beginning, basically after 2015, they have become three parades over different frequencies. One is the raising of the Communist Party. That is 1st October, one parade hota. In another cycle, you get 1st August raising of the PLA. and he started the third one of the Victory Day in September over Japan. All these parades, whoever came, even our man Xi Jinping when he came earlier, when you look at it, they all wear the Mao dress, which is dark grey and dark olive green, double shade, with dark olive green being a little more visible than dark grey. Olive green to show their fealty to the men. First time ever, he was made to wear a dress which was light grey in color, had no olive green. The commander of the parade, which they call the marshal of the parade, was announced night before the parade. Before the parade, 82 Group Army had taken over Beijing 3 weeks before. Zhongnan High, which is, the security is looked after by the Bureau of People's Security. They have the Central Bureau of Guards. Kicked out 82 group armies. One of the combined arms brigade has taken over and is still controlling Zhongnan High. When they went to Baidahe just before this parade, again the guards bureau was not there. The special ops brigade of 82 was there. Chang Yuzhia suspected the fealty of 81 Group Army. 81 Group Army and 79 was switched. And today there is a ring of steel around Beijing below 80 Group Army, which is in Beijing. I will tell you about an incident which happened in Beijing also. Okay, that is, Beihang. There the 80 Group Army, 82 Group Army, and in the north is 79 Group Army. Remember Mao, what he said. Power flows from the barrel of the gun. The barrel of the gun today is with Chang Yuzhia. Xi Jinping ordered them to go back. They have refused to go back, by the way. So the writ, as far as the military is concerned, I am clear, it has gone from Xi Jinping's hand. Overall, as my reading, there are 4 factions. Xi Jinping faction is still there in CCP. If we think that he is weakened in CCP, no way.
No, he's not.
He is there because whatever the other people may have done, CMC people may have purged, it may have gone down. No one has purged anybody from the Politburo Standing Committee. And these were his handpicked men. You may say Tai Chi is not doing this, Li Qiang is not doing this, that is irrelevant. They were handpicked by Xi and you have not removed them. So one is Xi Jinping faction, Hu Jintao faction. Along with Hu Jintao is Wen Jiabao, his premier. And the third faction is the Chiang Zemin faction, which is being controlled by Zhen Qinghong, who was his chief of staff, Jiang Zemin's chief of staff. He's taken over. He looks after the children of Jiang Zemin. The children of Jiang Zemin control the digital world of China. They are billionaires. They stay out of trouble, but now targeted hitting by Hu Jintao and Chang Yuzhia on their people who are controlling the digital world. That strikes have started, the purges have started. Why? Because the reports come out that in Baidahe, the Chiang Zemin faction was one faction which was keen that Xi Jinping should continue as the chair. Even if you get some other general secretary or anything, Xi Jinping should continue as the chairman, which Xi Jinping is also saying he wants to continue. But Wen Jiabao and Chang Yuzhia were not keen. Now the targeting has started. And there's a whole lot of purges which have taken place. Starting after the Baidahe, about close to 50 generals and people from the defense industry and Peng Liyuan's chosen people also. Peng Liyuan is Xi Jinping's wife. She had also her chosen people. And her main man was the provincial head of Xinjiang, who's been purged. was purged. And
Yeah, we did an episode on that. We know all that happened. They tried to escape.
He's been sacked from the party. Latest is he's been sacked from the party. So now there was supposed to be a maritime notice was given that in Shandong, Weifang area, Weifang is where 80 group army is there. They were supposed to do some live firing. I didn't have that software to edit the video and show you here. Weifang people on their video have recorded a missile or something coming in, and an air defense missile knocks it off over just outskirts of Weifang. And everybody is surprised, and that is seen all around the Shandong district, Shandong province, places around Weifang. It was discernible coming in from the east. From the eastern seaboard, the missile is coming. Now they are all questioning, what is this? There was some sound of firing also taking place. Now, me and Gen Shankar have done so many episodes of the misfiring rockets. Is that one of the misfiring rockets? Once before it happened, from the same region when they had fired, it had gone and hit Hebei, one of the residential towers outskirts of Beijing. It had gone and hit there. Is it something similar? Because they had given a notice. From 14th to 16th, maritime notice and NOTAM and all was given. They were going to do some firing, and rockets and all their rockets and all had gone. Was it something out there? So it is something amiss. Major is going on, because apart from this missile firing, the people were saying they were hearing small arms firing also. What is going on? Are they doing their live firing so close to Weifang? Weifang is so far away from the coast. Qingdao, you should be doing somewhere near Qingdao, which is the naval headquarters. That is on the eastern seaboard. What are you doing firing near? Then they tried to cover up saying a test firing. Do you do some test firing over populated areas? Come on. I was having a laugh when I was reading that report that they were telling that they are doing a test firing. What test firing? Over heavily populated areas. So there is something amiss in PLA, and there is a steep power struggle going on within CC. You can't pinpoint who's winning, who's where, but yes, Hun Chunwa has been brought out as he has risen like a phoenix from the ashes, because that was seen when he had gone to Tibet for just 24 hours and he came back, and thereafter the red carpet was laid out for Hun Chunwa. All reports were being given to Hun Chunwa like as if he is the General Secretary stroke Premier. Who gets what, where, what happens? I think this fourth plenum in October will clear there.
Yeah, so the fourth plenum is important. The fourth plenum we have to watch.
No, it's not necessary it will get cleared. It's not necessary.
No, we need to watch that.
We need to watch that. Murky.
The very fact that he moved the 81 group army away from Beijing indicates that while he may have control of some major portion of the PLA, there are factions in PLA who are pro Xi Jinping. Otherwise, why did he move the 81st group army from Hebei to North Shenyang area and then get the 79th group army 1-to-1 change?
Another thing which is interesting, which I find here in the PLA, is that the group armies also are having their own trajectories. Like the 83rd group army has now started a campaign which is saying that one man rule, collective leadership over one man rule. Now, which is a direct accusation against Xi Jinping's style of leadership. Now, imagine a group army which is a much small. I mean, it comes under a theater commander. Yeah, and it comes under. Of course, this guy comes under Central Theater Commander. Even he's publishing it in the PLA daily. That is big.
Sir,
if you publish it in the PLA daily,
he must be doing this because there is no Central Theater Commander today. There is no one there.
So I mean, but what I'm saying is that they are actually going, I would say, their own ways. Number of them. So maybe because of the different loyalties which are now emanating from top.
From top.
Yeah.
General Rajiv, I would like you to finish the thought. We were talking about one of the misfiring aircraft carriers of China, where there were
Yes.
some trials. Talk about that, sir. And then I have another question for you. Please bear with me, gentlemen. I have another question for you, and then we'll come back. And by the way, another request. All the questions that have been posed today so far are about the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia pact with Pakistan. Viewers, two things. I'm going to request the generals here to maybe accommodate some time on that also. And there is another program that is going to air at 10 p.m. that will give you an alternate view on that. Do tune in for that one. That's with Karthik Gore. Now, let's get back to Rajiv Narayanan ji. Sir, let's talk about the misfiring aircraft carrier. I can only say, go ahead, sir.
Two of them. First is the most talked about Fujian, the third aircraft carrier, 80,000 tons displacement, was initially supposed to have steam launched and then shifted to EMALs. Supposed to have shifted to EMALs. Deck earlier also we had seen got torn in the launch and other things. They had issues. They have done it, made a huge song and dance about it, floating down the Taiwan Straits. And that has been the blunder. Because all the satellite imagery has come out. And lo behold, what do you find? That the landing and the takeoff decks are overlapping. There are two catapults there for the takeoff. The second catapult is overlapping on the first, onto the landing deck. Or you can't say that one first catapult is not, because if this breaks, it is going to hit into the first one, or there will be some foreign body debris which will be available there, FOB as they say. So this is the classic case of an aircraft carrier which has been so mismanaged that you can either take off or land, you can't do both. And when you are landing, you got to be careful that you don't damage that second catapult which is overlapped into your landing area. And even after landing, it takes time to take off, because for that aircraft has to go off onto the deck to the other side. It has to go over that takeoff deck. You made an 80,000 ton aircraft carrier and you couldn't do these finer details. So this is a major problem that has come out glaringly from OSINT of this aircraft carrier. That means it is just there for show. It is going to face the normal aircraft carriers. If you look at ours also, we launch almost about 80 to 100 sorties. And if you are pushed, you can launch 120 sorties in a day. I wonder if he'll be able to launch even 40 sorties. Then you got this sort of a thing.
Yeah, and
next is the famous Shandong. Shandong is
this carrier had a crack also on the.
Yes, sir. 1/3 of it across the horizontally and vertically, it had a big crack, which has been repaired.
It was under a refit repair for quite some time. In fact, it took almost 6-7 months.
Now this is the one glaring which has come in their design. That the design itself is faulty. Otherwise, your takeoff and your landing decks just do not cross each other, and your aircrafts can easily go after landing and go off to the side for whatever rearming and making it ready that they can done, which doesn't interrupt. Even our smaller aircraft carriers are having that, which such a big one made a song and dance that it will be a contest to the Americans. This flaw, major design flaw has come about it, and he can do nothing about it at this stage. Now we come to their famous second, because Liaoning, the first one, has been kept as their training. Second was the Shandong. And in the video that was being shown to me, I noticed huge cloud of black smoke. It is diesel driven, huge cloud of black smoke. That means the engine is gone. There's no power in that engine. That means either the cylinder has, each piston cylinder has widened, or the O-rings have gone. So the oil from the sump is going into the combustion chamber that is burning, and that is giving you, the normal oil is giving you that black smoke. He will have no power in that. The engine is gone. And 2019 it was handed over. From the time it has handed over, virtually after almost, once it comes out, goes out somewhere, it has always gone for refit. Last it had gone for refit was from 2023, where they said that new things, it is going to be upgraded. This is the upgrade. Last time it went, I never saw this black smoke. Now you're seeing this black smoke. So there is a lot of, I would say, the issue is when you cut corners to show to the world that I can make more in a year than you can do, then you have these issues coming up where systems don't last. The actual life is questioned. The efficacy of the equipment itself comes under question. There is a technical time that is needed to construct a particular thing. If you're going to cut down, like simple thing, you're making a concrete, you got to have that 15 days of watering and tempering for it so that it solidifies. You cut it before it, the concrete would not have set. Same is the case with any equipment that you make. There is a finite technical time that is required for doing various things, and of course, quality check for what you're putting in. If you're doing it fast, well, if the rocket force can go 180 degrees opposite, so can the aircraft.
General Rajiv, second question for you. Are you done, sir? I'm sorry if I cut you off.
No, I'm done.
Yeah. So I want us to go back to the SEO meeting where Modi met one individual, Kai Chi, separately, one-on-one. What is the significance, according to you, of that, sir? And I'll ask the other generals also on that after you.
See, my take is, yes, Xi Jinping's health took a hit. In that last year's July meeting, after the first speech, he was not there. Whether it was a mild stroke, what it was, that is a secret, nobody knows. But yes, you can see he's not as healthy and as peppy as he was. So how long, what would he have spoken? That's a different issue. Tai Chi is the secretary, looks after the Communist Party, the general office of the Communist Party. So you can say that he is the chief of staff of the Communist Party. So they might have been a separate message which came. What people are saying is that apart from the state dinner that was organized, the Communist Party of China wanted to host our PM for a separate state dinner. And I think he would have come to talk of that, where they wanted to talk on the way ahead of how to normalize relations between India and China. This was the outreach I see it as an outreach from the Communist Party. Because after that, Xi Jinping has been talking of collective leadership. He also realizes, because I don't take much, like a lot of people say, ho, he's been this because he went to Tibet and came back. People forget Tibet is a high altitude area. And if your health is bad, and let us say your heart is bad, you can't stay long there. You will have problems. And that is the reason I give that he went there and within 24 hours he came away. His doctor would not have permitted him to stay there for him. So yes, health-wise, the whole problem of this struggle for leadership is because of his health. If Xi Jinping had been, let us say, nothing had happened in that July meeting, do you think anything of this would have been happened? You and me would have been talking about it? No way. It is because there is some issue with his health that there is a power struggle which is going on within the Communist Party and the PLA, that who next? Who will call the shots? And this is an outreach by Kai Chi from the Communist Party. Of course, PM Modi had his plans already, so he had to politely turn it down. So he must have come again to talk that as to what they wanted to discuss in that state dinner with him. Because state dinners are not just state dinners. Before you go in, there would be a discussion of what to do. So I look at it from that way. Tai Chi is the Chief of Staff of the Communist Party. As we
Thank
say,
you so
the
much, sir.
Director of the General Office of the Communist Party.
Thank you so much, sir. Viewers, wherever you are watching it, whichever channel, it's coming live on Claus channel as well as Gunnershot as well as P Gurus. Please like this video, because many vested interests are going to be furiously trying to complain about this, because the next topic is extremely hot. But before that, I would like General Ravi Shankar and then General Dushyant Singh to weigh in on the Modi Kaichi meeting. If you have anything additional to add, your perspective, sir.
No, perspective is largely the same, but let me explain the context. See, Mr. Modi had gone there for the SCO meet. In the
Yes.
structure of the SCO meet, and Xi Jinping had his own commitments of meeting other heads of state in that meet. So he wouldn't have had the time to devote to Mr. Modi beyond that one-to-one. That one-to-one at the head of state level was there. But the other one, which had meeting at the Communist Party level, there's a outreach from the Communist Party to normalize relations with India. Also remember, at that time it was very clear. I mean, the optics of this, beyond the optics of the thing, the significance of Mr. Modi going there was very clear. That was the peak of Trump tariffs and all that, right? And they would have recognized that Mr. Modi took a great political risk going there, a geopolitical risk going there. And they had to see, look, what is there in it overall. Also remember, the CCP has already made an outreach in some manner with the BJP. It's in the news, right? So you put all this together, it's a political outreach. Whether that political outreach is for a long-term outcome or short-term thing, we didn't know, because it never came about. But it's very important. And it also tells you that China is prepared to talk to you on a one-to-one footing, not from a position of strength. Oh, we will sort you out type. That was a thinking before this. That was a thinking any time before this. Even in the last meeting between Xi Jinping and Modi, which happened in Mahabalipuram, he probably felt he had the upper hand. But after things changed. So I think that was a very important meeting, Saichi meeting him. And also remember, Saichi in the entire Politburo Standing Committee is the most trusted person of Xi Jinping.
Yeah, that's
right. So he coming, talking all this, very important.
He looks after the security of Xi Jinping and his family.
So
General Dushyant. Yeah.
Basically, what I have gathered is that he's his kind of a person who is always around him. If we have certain personalities in India also like that, may I compare? In the Congress party there was somebody called Ahmed Patel type. So he's exactly a replica of that. So maybe either some issues were left out during the Beijing during the bilateral summit between one-on-one summit between Xi Jinping and Modi, that he may have gone there to convey or to take it forward. Maybe the next visit, because he invited Xi Jinping also to visit India. So from that perspective, I feel that it could be progressing this particular dialogue further. So he found the best person would be the most loyalist person to Xi Jinping to broach this topic. Other than that, there were also some media reports that probably he did not meet. We don't know exactly whether he met or not met. If he has met, it would be more to do with progressing some agenda which was missed out during the one-on-one meeting, and also maybe related to invitation to Xi Jinping, any additional issues, etc., which he might have liked to convey to him through Kaichi. I mean, that's
Thank
in
you so
addition
much,
to
sir.
what.
Yeah. Before we go to the important topic of KSA Pact with Pakistan, which I'm going to start with General Rajiv. This time, opening is going to be by Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Yes. The game is being played there in UAE. So it should start from the captain of the team.
Sir, one small thing. In the 80s and 90s, if I remember correctly, there used to be a series of movies, family oriented, from Tarachan Barjatia. And
Yeah.
so I am reminded from listening to you three good generals is that song that comes to my mind. What is China singing? Hum saath saath hain. After trying everything else.
हम आपके हैं कौन, हम आपके हैं कौन.
So,
Yeah.
General Rajiv, let's get back to this evolving topic about KSA versus Pakistan. I'm putting myself in the shoes of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and I'm wondering, why am I throwing good money after bad? This is the question for you, sir.
Okay. 2-3 points I'd like to make, that why we should not get overhype about this. Is this the first step for Saudi Arabia taking over Pakistan's nuclear missiles? The people say, oh, will Saudi Arabia intervene? Saudi Arabia doesn't have the spunk to intervene. Even when Iraq came into Kuwait, you think he's going to come and intervene with Pakistan? What does he have to give? Nothing. Just look at that. They have been fighting in Yemen for so long. You think Saudi Arabian army is fighting? It's a conglomerate of 41 of the Muslim countries, and Rahil Sharif is the head, sitting in Riyadh still. And they're still fighting. And they're still depending on whom? USA and Israel to do the damage. So my understanding is this is the first step of taking over the nuclear missile. He must have told him, I am worried if he has gone and hit Qatar. MBS also knows that if you look at the 9/11 pilots, we may say that they were trained in Pakistan. Bulk of them were Saudis. Bulk of the people involved were Saudis who got trained in Pakistan and went there. Right. So he must be still worried that there may be people out there, and then Israel may attack me. But will anybody attack you if you actually have weapons? He learns from our North Korea. Nobody touches them. And he is the one who has funded their complete start of the nuclearization. And those days, we remember in 80s, 90s, they used to call it the Islamic bomb. So I look at it from that way. Pakistan has lost all the battles. What will Saudi Arabia supply to him? Will Saudi Arabia come and fight when they couldn't even fight with Kuwait, and they needed a whole UN and the NATO forces and everybody to come in and sort out Iraq and throw him out of Kuwait? So they have never fought any wars. Long ago, they must have fought when First World War, Lawrence of Arabia and all. That is the time they have fought. After the First World War, which Arab country has fought where and succeeded? Ye bata do. Even a country like Israel has thrashed them. Should you worry? Pakistan has got thrashed by us in all the wars that he has fought. So two losers have joined together. So who gains? My understanding, Saudi Arabia gains the nuclear umbrella from Pakistan. Pakistan gains nothing. So that is what I would say.
Sir, thank you so much. And this brings us to an interesting question. General Ravi Shankar, I thought India defanged much of the Pakistani nuclear story, arsenal story. And if that is the case, then what is exactly Saudi Arabia gaining, sir?
Look, let's not make the mistake of thinking that we defanged them completely.
Absolutely.
What we did at that point of time was neutralize them. You neutralize their capability to react during Ops Sindoor, but their capability is still there, notwithstanding what happened in Pirana Hills and Noor Khan and all that. Now you have to look at from the Saudi Arabian point of view. See, this is an evolving situation, so there will be different ideas. The House of Saud, which is the royal family, has always been under threat. And if you know, Osama bin Laden was also Saudi. He is not from England. Yeah, and he was thrown out because if he had been allowed to continue, he would have overthrown the thing. So they are looking at protection of their monarchy. One. And number two, they've been very vulnerable. Like what General Narayanan said, 2 years back, that Aramco oil factory or the
Refinery.
and the refinery and that Burbek or the Abu Bek, both were hit from where? From Yemen. And now what has happened? Israel has hit Qatar. Where? In Qatar. And where? Next to Al Udeid Air Base, which is the Central Command headquarters where USA is there. And USA was supposed to guarantee the protection of Qatar. And ultimately, what happened? Nothing has happened. No one has made any noise, and Israel has got away with it. What if tomorrow Israel starts doing something against Saudis and that monarchy goes? So they have to get an insurance. And that insurance, where will they get from? You will not give it. USA will not give it. So they have to go to Pakistan. Right? And after all, they have funded Pakistan, so they'll get it from Pakistan. Now, the net result of this is something which we need to factor in. We know that Pakistan lost a lot of its capability. Now, the issue is, at this point of time, does it have the capability to reach Israel? It doesn't have. So, if it doesn't have the capability to reach Israel, then it has to shift some of its capability to Saudis. Will that happen? These are the issues which you have to see. That means Pakistan, some part of Pakistan force will have to go sit in Saudis. Right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is to or extend its capability or XYZ, which means Saudis have to bankroll Pakistan. If Saudis are bankroll Pakistan, where will Pakistan go and buy from? China. So virtually, is this a backdoor entry for Chinese to get in? And if the Chinese do get in, and the Pakistanis pay off the Chinese, and Chinese come in because China also has a equation with Saudis, and now Saudis want to somehow circumvent USA. In which case, we have a problem at hand. All this money is going through Pakistan, and we have to up our ante. So we'll have to be. I mean, this is one scenario. The counter to this scenario, I am giving my own counter, is that look, this money could well go to USA, and USA might tell Pakistan, this is what you'll have or not have. So Pakistan might be fixed between Saudis and USA. So we'll have to watch how this goes. But at the outset, I would put it this way: there's nothing much for us to worry about. It is not as if Saudis will come and stop any future war between India and Pakistan. On the other hand, we get leverage. You tell Saudis, now you are in a NATO-like situation with them, tell Pakistan to behave. Right? And all the more reason because Saudi and India, IMEC is going very fast. And Giorgio Meloni and all these people want the IMEC. Ursula von der Leyen, all these ladies want the IMEC to come fast. And so far, the IMEC between India to Saudi is going at top speed. So it's a new paradigm which has come. The paradigm shouldn't worry us, but at the same time, we shouldn't, a new paradigm is there. We have to monitor it.
Thank you so much, sir. General Dushyant, I have a question for you. There is a book that is written by an individual called Firoz Khan, Eating Grass, the Making of the Pakistani Bomb. Very interesting revelations in that. This fellow lives in the United States, as far as I can tell. Lot of interesting revelations in that. And the hint there is US doesn't really want Saudi Arabia to get access to the nuclear bomb also. One theory that's being put forth is that, well, you have it, but you can't turn it on. And that is all sitting with the United States in their base in Qatar. So just think about this. Saudi has paid for a bomb which they can see, perhaps they can touch with radioactive gloves, but they can't do anything beyond that. Now, according to General Ravi Shankar, that the bomb that Pakistan is going to seek from is from China. Why not United States, sir? I'm just asking you a rhetorical question.
Yeah. No. I look. The second option is that both are there.
Okay, okay.
Discuss that.
Since we are discussing Firoz Khan, I
Yes.
happen to know Firoz Khan quite well. I
Hmm.
was in the same institution where he was for 18 months. I have interacted with him on and off. He's a Pakistani, and he's the faculty of National Security Department of Naval Postgraduate School. So I can give you all the details what he is. He's been writing books. He wrote a book on Kargil also. So as far as Firoz Khan, what he has written, he is out and out pro-Pakistani
Of course.
person in the sense, no, there he doesn't even make a promise of being neutral, although being in a in an institution which is purely an American institution, teaching the students of America or officers of America. That having said, as far as this particular pact is concerned, it is a clear case of both sides gaining from each other. There was a brigade of Pakistan earlier,
Yeah.
positioned in Saudi Arabia. So nothing new for Pakistan to. It's already exported its chief of army staff, Rahil Sharif, there. A brigade can always go under him, and in the garb of a brigade, like what General Shankar said, there could be few tipped weapon systems which could be smuggled. They have done it to North Korea. They can do it to Saudi Arabia also. Americans have a habit of raising this issue, kind of black painting Pakistan for a while. They will get a scapegoat like who was that professor in Pakistan who was responsible? AQ Khan.
Take, take you, Khan.
Somebody like AQ Khan will be found and he'll be sent to the gallows. So that kind of a thing. Why Saudi Arabia has gone in for it is that Saudi Arabia feels that like you said, he can't touch. He can see the weapon, but he can't use it. Whereas with Pakistan, he has that scope of a greater reliability with their ex-chief also being there, of a certain amount of a higher degree of preparations should Israel strike Saudi Arabia. A kind of a deterrence message has gone across to Israel. So it's a deterrence play which is taking place in West Asia, in my view, because of this pact which they have gone through. Uh, Probably he's also not very sure of the US security guarantee. That is one. But the other scenario which you were saying, that the money could well go back to US, is also possible. Reason being that if he gives them this capability, the money will be bankrolled by Saudi Arabia. In any case, they are doing it every year. They are giving aid to Pakistan every year. The aid amount will just increase. And now that with that, they can buy US weapon systems also. Why? Because they have had a bad experience with the Chinese systems, right? If their systems have failed during Op Sindhu, they would like to have a backup and a flexibility to have weapon systems of the West. They have been using the weapon systems of the West. So if the Americans are playing ball, they will get these weapon systems to them. They have dual options, Chinese and the US. And where does it go? It goes against India. Of course, Saudi Arabia basks in this deterrence umbrella, which has been now created. Something people are calling it like NATO type. So I both the possibilities are there. To me, it looks like, given the fact that Munir is now running the show, the American option seems to be much more likely
Yeah.
thing, and the Americans that way will also have a greater control over Pakistan as to what to do with this weapon. So it's a chess game which is going on, and everybody is playing the game. India has to keep very close monitoring of the situation.
Yeah.
Because
Not
Thank you
only
so
we
much,
that,
General
in a way,
Dushyant Singh. I know you have something to say, Rajivji. I'll come to you in just 1 second. After that, to you, General Ravi Shankar. I have to say this thing. Sarji, I am seeing a chess game. Okay. The only problem with this chess game is both sides are moving the same coin, China and US. So over
yeah,
to General Rajiv and then to General
yeah.
Ravi Shankar. Rajiv
There
ji.
was a point which General Dushyant made which got me thinking. He said a pact that they don't trust the Americans. Yes. You see, the pact was made in 1974 for petrodollars. That you will trade, deal with oil only in dollars. I
Yes.
will support. I will provide defense for you.
Yeah.
Defense equipment, and I will give you defense. That pact finished last year in June.
Yes, that has not
It
been
has
renewed
not
yet.
been renewed. It has not been renewed.
It has not been renewed for quite some time. Although there's a talk going on to renew it.
There is a talk going on now, connected with certain aircrafts which landing in Noor Khan of the US. In this umbrella, now that they are having a pact, is it that backdoor? I will bring things to Noor Khan to Pakistan, and Pakistan you place it there. Because
Possible.
openly I can't do it because my Congress will question me that the pact has not been renewed. He started dealing in yuan and rupees and others. So how are you providing it support? Now you cover up around about from there. And Munir is his lapdog today. He says, okay, you sign the pact with him and I will give you things what is to be placed there. Could be that also.
Yeah, possible.
General Ravi Shankar. General Ravi Shankar.
There are other angles also. We have not got full this thing. You see, the moment Pakistan takes this on, remember, Pakistan itself has become a target of Israel. Remember, Pakistan has put a target on its back. So the first thing Pakistan, Israel might do is defang Pakistan. So that's one thing which is now Pakistan has opened itself on. Don't rule out the Americans manipulating all this, because what happens is Americans can arm Pakistan to keep a check on India. See, we have to be clear about the whole story. This is not a thing, because this is about nuclear weapons. In this whole garb, Saudi might give them more money to get normal. You see, the pact is not only for nukes, the pact is for other equipment also. So in this garb, will Pakistan be equipped with better air defense, better other equipment, so that it doesn't suffer a sindoor? So we have to watch this very carefully. If Saudi Arabia wants to get off the American back and all that, then you will see the move towards China. Don't rule that out also, because the Saudi ruler, ever since he's come MBS, ever since he's come, he's also opening out a door, channel with China.
With China.
So we have to wait and watch before the whole story pans itself out. I mean, the options are too many. Which way the dice will roll, we don't know. But one thing we should be very clear: who are the two affected parties? Israel and India, not USA, not the third party. So
They're gainers.
is it time for Israel and India to start thinking operationally? You see, when you play snooker, you have unintended consequences. One unintended consequence of this whole story is you will have Israel and India playing. Now, Israel and India playing with each other, or rather, operating through each other with each other, has ramifications to the security in the complete West Asia. There will be a balance and an imbalance. So I think, I've given you the options. I don't know which way this dice is going to roll. But definitely one thing I can foresee, that India and Israel will have to work closer. That is a given. Okay? And less dependence on USA. You see, at some level, USA also will be slighted that Israel went and took in these Hamas chaps in Qatar when they were sitting 20 kilometers away, 15 kilometers away, without telling them. And now US has to support Israel despite all this. So there are tensions which have started. Let's see where it goes.
Thank you so much, sir. We have still one more topic to discuss. I'm going to take a bold move and not take the questions today. Viewers, we are really sorry. We are already up to 58 minutes and we have one more topic to go. And this is also equally important. 5 minutes each. General Rajiv, we start with you. The significance of the EU-India treaty. It has not been signed yet, but it's well on its way to being signed. Sir, your thoughts on that, and then General Dushyant and Gen Ravi Shankar ji, and then we will wrap this up. Over to you, sir.
It all begins on September 4th. The dates are important here. September 4th, the European Council President, Antonio Costa, The European Commission president, Commission is below the Council, Ursula von der Leyen, have almost a 45 minutes to an hour chat with PM Modi and his team. Now, the Council is very important because the Council provides the geo-economic, geopolitical, and geostrategic direction. It's the first time ever I have heard of a Council president talking to a head of state. It means Ursula von der Leyen has been given that twist in the year and made to sit and do the deal with India. 3-4 things were spoken about. One was the deal, and they compared it with the EFTA and the UK deal. So India has said the deal will be ready by end October, November. Second was the EU summit. India has invited the Council and the Commission to come to India in February, where the Indo-EU summit will take place. So if they are coming, means India is confident that if they follow the correct path for the deal will be signed in February, sealed and dusted. Number 3 was the IMEC. They're very keen to actualize the IMEC. And number 4 was wanting India, the good offices of India, to sort out the Ukraine war, for which the PM had said that the next time you hold talks, please hold it in India. And promptly in the evening, Zelensky makes a tweet that he is ready to talk to Putin anywhere. Nothing about preconditions. Ready to talk to Putin anywhere. These happen, and the first pro-India tweet from Trump comes on 5th morning. That's why I said dates are important. See, the moment EU goes away from him, he loses his hold on Europe. He loses anything what he thinks that he can hold India to ransom if EU doesn't support him. That's why he was after EU to put tariffs on
additional
India.
Tariffs. Yeah.
Additional tariffs on India. Now, if India and EU have a trade deal, now suddenly everything backflips. And you had the person come here, the negotiator, I'm forgetting his name, Bernard something. He came, one day talk and he is gone. Now comes the chatter that the US is ready to remove the additional 25% tariff, and max both countries will have across each other. There is no talk of agriculture, dairy and other things, energy or defense deals. All other tariffs are likely to be in the range of 10 to 15% only. And he is in a hurry to get the deal done before the EU. Because if the EU is done, then he is on a back foot when he is going to deal with you. And that is the reason I think after everything has happened, that what she had spoken earlier, she makes a video and links it to a tweet and takes it out today. Today. That means just a day or two after the US delegation has gone back, she takes out this tweet that we are doing this. All this has a meaning. They both are desperate to do the deal with you. And that is when this happens, obviously China is up a gum tree. He was wanting to wean away EU towards him. No, and he was wanting to wean you away. Now if both EU and US are ready to do the deal with you, he's on the back foot. So yes, CCP is sweating a lot. And if this happens, then writing is on the wall for Xi Jinping. That's all I like.
वो मेरा दोस्त है यार. Xi Jinping is my दोस्त यार. You shouldn't go. वो तो बिगाड़ रहा है कहीं ना.
आप चिंता मत करो सर, कोई नया दोस्त आता है तो वहां पे
जांगजिया आ जाएगा. जांगजिया आ
जाएगा, कोई भी आ जाएगा.
So one request before I go next to General Dushyant Singh, viewers, this program is Pakistan's worst nightmare. And the only thing we can do to combat that is wherever you are watching, please like this video. I love the fact that there are so many of us watching even after an hour, and we still have a few more minutes to go. I love the fact that so many of us are watching. Please like, because the like should match the number of people viewing. I don't see that even close. May I request all of you to like this video. And now let's go to General Dushyant Singh. Sarji, my head is in a bit of a spin right now. So I am also again reminded, Bollywood is so helpful in these things. Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge. Now,
Le jayenge.
I don't know which Dilwala is going to take the Dulhan, which appears to be India. Your thoughts, sir?
No. India is not the Dulhan. India is the Dilwala. और दो दुल्हन लेके जाएगा, EU and US.
India is like the guy who is watching from outside the circus going on, and finally it will pick up the rewards, right? So that is the way it is. और चाहे आप उसको बोलिए दुल्हनिया लेके जाएगा, तो इंडिया में ही था ना, तो दुल्हनिया तो पृथ्वीराज चौहान ही लेके गया था, वो दैट इज अ डिफरेंट मैटर, बाद में कुछ हो गया
Samyukta.
I want to go beyond what General Rajiv Narayanan has said. One thing which has been proved about India's diplomacy: don't be in a hurry. Nothing is permanent in international relations. Nothing is permanent in negotiations. We within the country, people were getting hyped up. EU against us, US against us, China is the only option. What he found was for Maldives or so many other examples. I think this is also playing out like that. The trade deal is also playing out like this because we were persisting with the FTAs of the UK, FTA of Oman, FTA of Saudi Arabia. There are so many FTAs which we were actually GCC, FTA with GCC, and I was seeing the ranking, including Canada. It's not off the talks
Radar yet.
amongst it's not off the radar. The ratings are very high, very high as far as EU is concerned, as per the experts who are there and what they have made out of it. So that very high has kicked in. I was reading a statement a few days back by somebody in the paper which said that if we sign the EU FTA, America will have no choice but to sign the FTA with us at whatever conditions. And that is what exactly Gen Rajiv also said. So in my view, nothing is permanent. Wait and watch, play your cards carefully, things will turn around to you. Second thing, Russia, we have to be careful. I'm just going beyond the points which have been made. While we are doing all this, while we are doing all these agreements, etc., we must not forget that we have to keep the Russian angle very strongly knitted to us. So that management has to remain always perfect, because they will only talk if Russia agrees. So that Ukraine war will only resolve if Russia agrees. So Russian angle with India has to remain solid, tight. We can dispense off with the Chinese, because see, we were in a deficit trade as far as the Chinese were concerned, 100 plus $billion. The EU is about $347 billion trade deficit. So as far as EU and India are concerned, we will benefit from each other. China can be left to a side. We can continue with the policy. What we are doing with China is we are going for sub-components and sub-parts. We are going for raw materials. We are not going for big ticket items. So therefore, there is a slight bit of change in our policy towards China. Maybe there will be some kind of a deficit still there. But I think overall, we'll be able to manage our trade deficit. As such, I believe this month, our exports have actually increased by 10%. That is something which is very so that is something which is very encouraging. So I think in adversity there is always a opportunity, and therefore this is one good area which is emerging as an opportunity for India. And that's all. I think I think it's a very good development which is taking place. The only thing is EU has to get its act right, that after they have signed the agreement and all, everybody has to agree. So the EU has too many countries in between.
Countries are agreeing. Hungary,
yeah,
Greece, Italy, Cyprus, France, Germany is already in talks. So if these countries have come in, others will just flow in.
Yeah. So barring these minor issues.
Yeah, we are. Go ahead, pardon the interruption. We are having our talks with Putin. He's visiting us in December.
Yeah, he's coming to us. So the only caution is we should keep the Russian angle.
Of course.
Guarded.
I entirely agree with you.
Yeah.
General Ravi Shankar, I'd like you to close this, and then a small request to all gentlemen, stay for 5-10 minutes after General Ravi Shankar's talk. Then we'll just run through the questions. Many of you have paid to have your questions
Yeah.
asked. So we want to just at least touch some.
Take your
Over to
time.
you, General
Take your
Ravi
time.
Shankar. So,
Yeah.
thank you. So, India EU Pact, IMEC is critical, and I think they want it. India wants it. Now, I see that IMEC has to go through Saudi Arabia, which has now gone and made a pact with Pakistan. Tell me how Saudi Arabia will be looking at this whole thing.
I will come to Saudi Arabia and IMEC a little later. This EU issue is a major angle which people have to understand. You take EU as a block. The major economic actors in the globe are EU, USA, China, India. These are the four major economic blocks. That's it. There's no fifth block. The fifth, you could say, is Korea, South Japan, but Korea, Japan have never been never acted in concert with each other. They're always in competition with each other. So, even this two blocks get together and get into alignment, the third and the fourth block goes out. And what is happening now is that EU and USA were always hitherto together. Trump broke that. EU were very clear that it will not turn towards China and at any cost. So they had no choice to come to us. After what happened between Trump and China, where we are, we also didn't have much of a choice but to go to the EU, which I've spoken about many times. So it's not just that EU has come and Costa has turned towards India and all that what Rajiv said. Parallelly, there have been moves from major economies of the continent, that is France, Germany, Italy, all these people, Hungary, all these people have started coming towards you. And the significance is that exchanges between Giorgia Meloni and Mr. Modi. Why these are significant? This because our trade with Italy has never been high. So now they want to open that. That's the actual internal pipeline which is opening. So we have really outweighed everyone else in this EU, India, if it goes through. And I don't see why it will not go through. I've been hearing about this right for the past 3 months. By September, October, that this deal will go through. Right, irrespective of everything else. So naturally, US will fall in line. Even China will fall in line. Remember this, China also will fall in line. Now coming to IMEC. Like I told earlier also, the IMEC is going full steam ahead. Full steam ahead in between India, UAE, Oman and Saudis. There are no stoppages in that. Right? It's only that now, somewhere once this Gaza business ends, right, whatever between Israel and Gaza it ends, you have to connect Haifa and you're through to Piraeus after that. So, and people see it. That is why everyone says, I make. And you'll see this opening out without any doubt. I have no doubt. Now, that neutralizes Saudis completely. And that gives you leverage. Like I told earlier, it gives us leverage through Saudis to twist Pakistan's tail. Okay. So, I mean, all these are there. It's a new paradigm which is opening up. And like what General Dushyant said, we have to be patient in this. As of now, the roller wheel is still going around. You don't know where it's going to stop. When it stops, then you know how to play this game further. Because then the next spin will start. Right? So I think we have to be patient. One thing we are very clear, what was there earlier will not reappear back on the scene. It's going to be something completely different. And the second thing which is very clear is, today, hereafter, you are an indispensable player in this global game, or I call the new great game, or the new world order. It will not go without India. So I think we have to start thinking differently. We also have to do a mental shift to think away from Pakistan, because a lot of people are besotted with Pakistan. Pakistan is a stupid nuisance country. Okay, वो करता रहेगा यार, वो let him do what he wants with radicalism and all that. Let him do, and it will not go anywhere. And even let me spend 1 minute on Pakistan, if you don't mind. You look at Pakistan, what's happening at this point of time, as of today. The number of people who have died in Pakistan through terrorist incidents or related violence has been the highest in their history so far, or almost reaching there, and still there are 3 months left. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan are out of control. There are floods. He can't handle the floods. You forget about his having nukes, shukes, and all that. Those nukes are stand compromised with the Saudi deal. वो करेगा क्या? वो करेगा क्या? So I think we need to start understanding this and stop ignoring him, because when you get into a different plane, you have to play a different game. And that's where I'll end today, and we'll take questions.
Thank you so much, sir. And every time I host the Three Good Generals, I learn something new, and such an information-filled webinar. You want to call it discussion. Viewers, I urge all of you, small request from all of us, just share this link, because you see so many things happening. To make sense of all this, where does India stand? Where does the world stand? Where does US stand? So all this stuff I haven't seen a single program do such an in-depth, yet such a broad coverage of so many topics happening. My naman to all three of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really, my naman to all of you. It's I learned something new every day, and this is the best experience that I've had. Our viewers, I'm sure you guys can weigh in by way of comments. So we are going to take some quick questions. Some of the questions are already answered, but I'm going to rifle through them, and we're going to start with, let's go to the questions now, please. Arvind Srinivasan, thank you so much for becoming YouTube member. Thank you, Piyush Gupta, for becoming for your donation. Thank you, Garvesh. Good evening, Sriyarji and the three generals. Next one. Thank you, Srikant Pattukunda. Pattukela. Tara, thank you so much. General Rajiv sir, General Shankar sir, General Dushyant sir, mera pranam aap sabko.
Thank you.
Next one, please.
Thank you.
Bob J. Krishnan wants to know, General Shankar, General Dushyant, will you be able to elaborate the reasoning behind naming your respective channels? Was it instinct, or was it just a result of extensive thought process? Let's start with General Ravi Shankar. He was a gunner all his life.
I was a gunner, so it's my shot. That's it. But a simple here.
RT in Fauji lingo are known as gunners. So that's how it's gunner shot.
As far as my channel is concerned, it's not my channel. It's the channel of a think tank called Center for Land Warfare Studies. And since it is a think tank, strategic thoughts are always the first and foremost requirement of a think tank. So I named it as Strategic Frontline. So that was the reason.
Next question. Thank you so much, Pushpak Hansraj. Sir, even if the world would be a multipolar, but the duel will be there between who and do you see India as manufacturing hub by the end of the 4th decade? This is for General Rajiv Narayanan, because the other two have weighed in so far on questions. Sir.
See, if it's multipolar, it can't be bipolar. So let's be clear. It's either multipolar or bipolar. And we are not looking, I don't think you're looking at bipolarity. Manufacturing hub, you would be one of the hubs. If you think you are going to be the only hub, please let us not get on that wish horse, start thinking that this will be there. No, you will be one of the major hubs in this region. If you think China is not going to be a hub, think again. Yeah, it may be having a problem today, but it will still be a major regional hub. Let's be very clear that Japan, South Korea, Vietnam and all can't do without the MSMEs that are there in China. So let's be very clear कि हम कहाँ पे रहने वाले हैं. Yeah, you will be one major hub. If you think Europe is going through a problem today, but by the 4th or 5th decade they will not be having some manufacturing hub. No, that's not the case. US will also get some MAGA back in, and there will be some manufacturing which is going on. High tech, he is still going to be having his manufacturing, and innovator, he is still the number one. If you think by the 4th decade you can beat that, think again. It takes a lot of time. So yes, that is how this multipolarity is going to be. You will deal with each other and you'll work with each other. Like Gen Shankar had mentioned, 4 economic hubs. You will be one of the hub. Europe, EU and Europe is one of the hub. US is one of the hub. China is one of the hub. So in this manufacturing hub, you are not the hub. Yes, you will be one of the hubs.
Thank you, Pushpak, and now thank you, Saurabh. Unrest in ban Nepal so quickly. कोई हमारे खिलाफ तैयारी करे बैठा है कुछ बड़ा करने के लिए और चाइना के पर कटे जा रहे हैं. Your view, sir, General Ravi Shankar.
यार ऐसे don't, this is all conspiracy theories. Nothing like this is happening. What's happened in Bangladesh is completely different from what happened in Nepal. Okay, and where China comes in is completely different. So one has to look at things simplistically. We have to deal with each situation the way it is unfolded.
Yes, let it unfold.
Let it unfold. And the way things unfolded in Bangladesh and Nepal, China was nowhere near. So don't give China also too much bow. Things will happen, and things have happened well. Don't worry.
Would either of you generals like to weigh in? General Dushyant, General Rajiv?
No, not really, sir. I mean, there are so many people commenting on these. They are a program in itself. They are a program in itself. We'll have to actually spend a lot of time to explain. Yeah, I have done 4 programs, yet we have not been able to cover Nepal. So that's the.
I just make one point on China. Whenever there is a autocratic ruler in China, like old monarchs and now Mao and then now Xi Jinping, when there is a struggle for change, it takes about 3-4 years for it to stabilize. So if you're looking at the 4th decade, that's why I say by then China would have stabilized. Whoever is there, they'll get their act together. So to say कि China का पर काट दिया, ये काट दिया है, ठीक है यार, गरम खून है, आप बोलते जाओ, ऐसा होता नहीं.
Next question, this is for General Dushyant. Sajid Kumar, thank you so much. So when the next Sindoor happens, will Saudi be forced to support a Langur by today's treaty?
No, not really. Not really. I don't think we have already discussed this issue. The Saudis have much to lose. IMEC on IMEC, I can tell you, I took a session about 2 days back with West Asia Forum, and let me tell you, from India's side, we have fully digital connectivity has been worked fully. As far as the rail connectivity is concerned, we have already signed the MOUs with the various companies in the Gulf. So what is left is, once the work starts and Haifa is free, you're only looking at Europe thereafter. So that's the way it is.
Thank you so much, sir. General Rajiv, this is the next question is for you. Sid wants to know, sir, can you please share your thoughts on Trump's statement in London about getting Baghram base in Afghanistan? Is this against China or classic great game against Russia? General Rajiv.
But Baghram, he already has his footprint. At the
moment, that they are controlling.
Footprint. He may want to have that base. I don't know whether Taliban will agree, may agree. But if he gets his footprint there, then why are you looking at only China and Russia? You are also there. Right?
Everybody is there. It's a very strategic location. It's a strategic location.
So you would want to be there.
Iran is there.
Iran is there. Central Asia is there for him to do something, which is the soft underbelly for Russia, which is the soft flank for China, because Xinjiang is there. And you are there. So obviously he would like to. Will he openly go there? It remains to be seen. But as per a lot of reports that I have read today, already CIA, their special forces, and the private security contractors combined together have a footprint of 14,000.
In Afghanistan, in Baghram.
So there is Baghram and there are other places. I don't think Baghram can accommodate 40,000. So where all they have spread, and they have their footprint in Baghram. And when the Taliban says that no, Baghram is with them, they are correct. Baghram base is still controlled by the Taliban, but the footprint is there. So they are already there. Afghanistan will always be, that is the problem with Afghanistan. All the big powers would want to have their influence there.
Next question, please. I'd like all of you to weigh in on this, starting with General Ravi Shankar. Mehul Shah, thank you so much. The India containment playbook is alive and well in DC. Let's stop pretending that ours are better than D's. If anything, this admin has been India's worst nightmare. Niceties on X are a facade. On the ground, things are dire. Over to General Ravi Shankar. Then after that, General Dushyant, and then General Rajiv. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, I agree with him that the playbook is alive. But is that playbook valid? It's not. America also plays on ignorance. A lot of their plays based on ignorance. Many times when you see American commentators, they go by what they want done with the presumption that they can get things done. Unfortunately, that season has passed. America is no more so powerful that it can contain India. At this point of time, it has to contain itself because it's already blowing all over the countryside. So, I think this thinking is quite vague, misplaced. I'm not worried about it also. Because when the chips settle down, like I said, the roller is spinning. You don't know where it's going to come and stop. But wherever it comes and stop, containing India is the last of their problems. In fact, it's the flip. How to get into India is their bigger problem at this point of time. And you see this happening. That's what General Rajiv explained to you. That's it.
General Dushyant.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the history of our relations between India and the US. You'll get the answer. It's a cyclic process. You see, there are some personality-driven issues which get up, and there are some interstate issues which kick in from time to time based on international situations. You're seeing a phase where there is a churn going on, upheaval going on. So it is the best period, I would say. Let me just put it this way. I look at this period as an opportunity and not as something which is really bad happening to us. Look at the kind of doors which are opening for us. So I think let's play the game as it is going on. And keep our rudders strong and fixed. Our sails should not, क्या बोलते हैं, let us down. So let's do a smooth sailing. That's about all.
Thank you so much, sir. General Rajiv.
While I agree that both D and R have always wanted to, when did this containment start? When you stopped playing their game of fighting their battle with China. The whole opening up was so that they could use you to contain China. That was the start. That is number one. Number two, why do you say that this is my worst nightmare? My exposure to US is only 2% of my GDP. How is it my worst nightmare? That is their narrative that you're talking. Sorry. It would be the worst nightmare for all else who have 20 to 30% exposure of their GDP, which is EU, China, Japan, Korea, all these people. It's the worst nightmare for them, not for India. If you think it's the worst nightmare, how has my exports increased by 10% month on month? So, Mehul, you've given a wrong statement, not the worst nightmare. Now, the worst nightmare is for US. Because if he had not done it with EU, then EU was with him, then he would have something. Now EU is coming towards you. So now it is becoming the worst nightmare for US. Not for me. No.
Thank you so much, sir. Next one, please. George Fernandez, thank you so much. And this is the last question for General Dushyant. E, can we have the next question, please? E, thank you so much. Looking at CN history, China's history, they had conquering phase and eunuch phase. Has CCP under Xi's leadership turned into eunuchs, letting generals become warlords? Question is open to other two generals also. First, General Dushyant.
Look, this question we have debated during this particular session also. Today, to me, it looks like that Xi Jinping has, to some extent, lost control over the PLA. That is something major. That's the downfall. That is the indication of a downfall of a dictator. I think time is going to come very soon when we will have some kind of a CCP uprising, in which, General Rajiv already said, that there are four, factions of the CCP. Actually, there are many more also. There are 3, 4 more which are also, simmering below that. So all these people are going to finally come up. The only good thing about China is that there is no external faction which comes up. So whatever will happen, it will happen within the CCP. So maybe I would keep on saying, wait for the fourth plenum. I think that will give us a clear hint as to what is going to happen in the future for China, and for Xi Jinping in particular.
General Rajiv.
Yeah, I'll just name you the factions. Xi's factions are the people from Zhejiang and Fujian who are with him. And Shanxi. Shanxi has been his base. So these three clubbed together, they are his strength. Then you have the Communist Youth League, which is the CYL faction, where Hu Jintao and Wen Xiaopao come in. They used to be a military-industrial complex. While Li Shangfu is gone, that is now controlled by Chang Yuzhe. That is the military-industrial complex people that he's controlling. And you have the Shanghai faction, old Chiang Zemin, which is now by Zhen Qingkong, his chief of staff. These are the four factions which are fighting it out. And it's there in the open now. So what happens, we'll see. At the current stage, fine, she may be in the back.
Yeah. But definitely Xi is weakened.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Then why has he has cleared big ticket things like that big dam which is wanting to make at the Big Bend, which is supposed to be bigger than Three Gorges Dam. Like that, he has announced big tickets. The big ticket ones are what? Line the pockets of the fence sitters. Thank you very much. So the claws are out, the fangs are out. They are all fighting for supremacy, which will come out in October. Who wins the battle? Why is Chang Yuzhe going after Jiang Zemin faction, his sons who control the digital world? That means if he takes control of that and they bend towards him, the complete social media of China and the narrative warfare becomes his. These are the battles being fought out there.
Yeah, I just want to...
General Ravi Shankar, yeah.
You see, while there is a power struggle on in China, we shouldn't make the mistake to think that this is the end of Xi Jinping. He's still got a strong faction. He's still in control of the situation, the government. Why is this power struggle come? This power struggle has come because he's not well, and everyone sees a post-Xi scenario. This struggle is to get a hold into the post-Xi scenario. And this struggle is not going to take China to a collapse. China will continue declining because there's no way it will come back up. Because it doesn't have people. Simple. Bande nahi hai to kaun sa economy chalega. And and there's no consumption and all that. That will do separately. But the fact is, the Communist Party doesn't want to leave power. The factions within the Communist Party have started coming out to grab power and to grab positions in the post-Xi scenario. If you think this is going to go out in a day or two, it will not. The transition period from Mao to Deng Xiaoping to Jiang Zemin, and Jiang Zemin to Hu Jintao to this chap, Xi Jinping, has always spanned minimum 2 to 3 years, and it's gone up to 6 to 7 years. Right? So this is the beginning of this term of 3 years. Minimum struggle for 3 years, it could go up to 6 to 7 years. And I dare say it will go to 6 to 7 years because there's no alternate leader to Xi Jinping at this point of time. So who's that alternate leader will come through the struggle. So just visualize a box of crabs which are trying to go up. Every crab goes up, someone will pull it back. We'll see which is the crabs will come out finally.
Thank you so much. Viewers, I just wanted to tell you, in this book, the latest book, Operation Bhasmasur, I show a way in which some of these dissident factions, they need to keep in touch with the outside world also. They need to find out if one crab by some luck manages to escape, what kind of support it enjoys outside of China. Remember, everybody is watching everybody else. So how does this happen? This is also described in the book. Those of you who have read it will understand what I'm saying. I just wanted to, quietly pitch my book also. Let's go to the next question, please. I'm sorry, there are two more questions and then we are done. Dr. Sanjay wants to know, ask General Rajiv Narayanan, sir, did Hiramandi return nukes to Saudi Arabia? Is GCC awakened from Greater Israel plan the way it's expanding? Because I stay 800 kilometers away from Israel border. General Rajiv.
No, they have not given the nukes. His deal is that it provides them, if required, a cover. That's about all.
It's a guarantee.
That's all. It's a guarantee. That's about all. GCC, bhai, again you have come up. GCC ke, who will rule the GCC? That struggle has always been there. From the 60s, it has been going on. Those days, it used to be Iran, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan. Turkey is still there. He can't see eye to eye with Saudi Arabia. Will Pakistan be quiet? Because he will say that it is my chiefs who go and fight for Saudi Arabia. We do that. So you will always have this struggle. Like if the thing came out, the Islamic NATO. Well, in EU, Europe, the NATO is run by US. Let's be very clear. Who will run this NATO? तो आपस में लड़ मरेंगे कि मैं बॉस की मैं बॉस की मैं बॉस. Sounds nice, Islamic NATO, but who will run it and who will fund it? The person who Pakistan wants to run it. Always caliphate, moderate caliphate, ये caliphate. पैसा किसके पास है? सऊदी अरेबिया के पास है. लड़ना नहीं जानता. Turkey is in decline, तो टर्की को एक्सेप्ट कर लोगे. So there are issues. Greater Israel, well, we'll see क्या होता है. अभी गाजा तो सॉर्ट आउट हो ले पहले. How the world has to see. Everybody is now looking at India for Ukraine. Nobody has approached India for sorting out the Gaza. And everybody has promised in the UN that yes, Palestine state, everybody has approved. India has also voted, but has anybody said where? That's my question.
Hawaii. Ramkrishna wants to know, sir, in recent interview, EU Commissioner VP Kaja Kallas said Russian oil is roadblock for the ties with India. Does EFTA happen unless you stop buying oil? General Ravi Shankar.
No, nothing of that kind.
So EFTA is done and dusted. 10th March last year, you signed it first.
Actually, if you see you go to the EU Commission website and see Kaja Kallas' statement. She is not talking anything about oil and all that nonsense. यार उनका खुद का तेल निकला हुआ है, उनको चाहिए तेल.
रशिया का क्रूड हम सॉर्ट करके देते हैं. They are the biggest buyers. EU is the biggest buyer. You are the number one supplier.
I think there's one thing which people have to understand. What is IMEC all about? What is going to go through IMEC as oil?
In oil.
Where will it come from? Russia.
The only thing I am saying that
this is a pipeline.
EFTA is not European Free Trade Agreement. Let's be very clear. That will be EU FTA. EFTA is European Free Trade Area. Right? It has got nothing to do with EU because it comes with Norway, Iceland, who are not part of EU. They are part of NATO. They are not part of EU. And then you have Switzerland and Liechtenstein. Signed 10th March last year. And all the parliaments, the last was Swiss, which have ratified it in last month. 1st October, it rolls out. 1st October, it rolls out. So EFTA is not EU ka FTA, please. EFTA is different.
Last one. Thank you, Ramesh Kumar Nanda, for gifting 5 Gunner Shot memberships.
Oh, thanks a lot, Nanda. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Ashish Agde, Gavaskar, Vishy and Dhoni special today. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Sir, every time I have a session, I host a session with you, I learn something new. I've already said this. My heartfelt pronouns to all of you. May every one of you make it to every program, because this is sort of becoming the reference, in my opinion, for how to think in different angles and get some reasoning out of it. That's what I say is a huge takeaway here. We've looked at various things in various angles. I hope you had as much fun as I had listening to all three good generals. We'll see you again next Thursday, same time. Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Thank you.